A crisp October afternoon in 2019, sitting on a weathered park bench next to my 87-year-old neighbor, Nick. We'd been meeting like this every few months since I moved to the neighborhood. Him with his thermos of black coffee, me with questions about life that my corporate job couldn't answer. Nick had lived through more economic upheavals than anyone I knew. The Great Depression as a child, World War II as a young man, multiple recessions, market crashes, and booms throughout his long life. Yet somehow he'd managed to build lasting wealth and provide security for 3 generations of his family. That day, I was particularly troubled. At 34, I thought I was doing everything right. Good job, decent salary, contributing to my 401k. But deep down, I felt like I was walking on thin ice financially. "Nick," I said, watching leaves drift from the old oak trees, "I make more money than my parents ever did, but I feel less secure than they seemed. What am I missing?" He chuckled. That deep, knowing laugh that comes from decades of watching the same patterns repeat over and over again. "Son, let me tell you something I learned the hard way during the Depression. My father put all his faith in one thing, his job at the steel mill. Thought it would last forever. When the mill closed in 1932, we lost everything overnight." He paused, taking a slow sip from his thermos. "That experience taught me the most valuable lesson of my life. Never, ever put all your eggs in one basket. The folks who survived and thrived during those dark times weren't the ones with the best jobs. They were the ones with multiple streams of income flowing in from different directions." What Nick told me over the next hour would completely transform how I thought about money, security, and building lasting wealth. More importantly, it would set me on a path that 18 months later would generate over $40,000 per month from 7 different income sources. Let me share his wisdom and the modern system I built from his timeless principles. The hard lessons from the greatest generation. Nick's story began with loss, like so many of his generation. "I was 8 years old when my daddy came home and told us the mill was closing," he said, his eyes distant with memory. "I'll never forget the look on his face. This was a man who'd worked there for 15 years, never missed a day, thought he was set for life." "What happened next?" I asked. "We had to move in with my grandparents, lost our house, our car, nearly everything. But here's the thing that stuck with me. My grandfather barely seemed worried. While other families were falling apart, he kept us all fed and housed." Nick's grandfather, it turned out, was a man ahead of his time. He didn't just farm his small plot of land, he also ran a small carpentry business, building furniture and fixing things for neighbors. Bred and sold horses to local farmers, made and sold moonshine. This was during Prohibition, after all. Rented out rooms in his large farmhouse to travelers, sold eggs, milk, and vegetables from his property. 5 different ways money came into that house, Nick said. When one income got hurt, the others kept the family going. That's when I understood the power of multiple streams. The modern application of Depression-era wisdom. Nick went on to build his own version of this principle. After the war, instead of just relying on his job at the railroad, he started a small appliance repair business in his garage, bought rental properties with his VA loan benefits, invested systematically in dividend-paying stocks, grew and sold produce at the local farmers' market. Later, taught repair skills at the community college. By the time I was 50, Nick said, I could have lost my railroad job and barely noticed the financial impact. The other streams were carrying most of our expenses. This approach allowed Nick and his wife Eleanor to Put 3 children through college without debt. Help each child buy their first home. Build a 7-figure estate that now supports his grandchildren's education. Weather multiple economic downturns without financial stress. Retire comfortably at 62 with an income that increases every year. The secret isn't making a lot of money, Nick said that day. It's making sure your money comes from multiple places, so you're never dependent on any single source. My great awakening. Why everything I believed about security was wrong. Nick's words that day hit me like a lightning bolt, but it took a harsh reality check 3 months later to truly wake me up. December 13th, 2019. I walked into my office to find something that still gives me chills. The HR team setting up in the conference room with their serious-looking folders and that expression that says, "Today is not going to go well for some people." By lunch, 12 good people were gone. Experienced employees, people with families, mortgages, and car payments, people who thought they were secure because they had good jobs. I wasn't laid off that day, but sitting at my desk afterward, I had Nick's voice echoing in my head, "Never put all your eggs in one basket." That night, I did something that terrified me. I calculated exactly how long I could survive without my paycheck. My financial reality check. Monthly survival expenses, $4,520. Savings account balance, $3,200. Survival time without income, 21 days. 21 days. After working for 8 years and thinking I was building a successful career, I had less than a month of runway. I was Nick's father all over again, completely dependent on one income source that could disappear with a single meeting I wasn't even invited to. That night, I made a decision that seemed crazy at the time, but turned out to be the smartest thing I'd ever done. I was going to build my own version of Nick's multiple income stream system, updated for the modern world, the 7 pillars, my modern multiple stream system. Fast forward 18 months from that park bench conversation. Thanks to Nick's wisdom and some hard-learned lessons about how to apply it in today's economy, I now have 7 income streams generating over $40,000 per month. More importantly, I sleep soundly every night knowing that even if 3 of my streams disappeared tomorrow, I'd still be making more than my old corporate salary. Let me walk you through each stream, how I built it, and the timeless principles behind each one. Stream number 1, Wisdom Consulting, $8,500 per month. Nick always said, "Every person over 40 has knowledge that younger folks would pay for. They just don't realize it." He was right. After 2 decades in corporate marketing, I had skills that small business owners desperately needed but couldn't afford to hire full-time. This started completely by accident. At a neighborhood barbecue, I was chatting with Sarah, who owns a small e-commerce business. She was frustrated because her website was only converting 1.2% of visitors into customers. "I'm spending $3,000 a month on ads, but hardly anyone buys," she said. I casually mentioned a few optimization techniques I used in my corporate job. Her eyes lit up like I'd just revealed the secret to cold fusion. "You actually know how to fix this? The agencies I talk to want $5,000 per month for 6-month contracts." I helped her as a favor. Within 2 weeks, her conversion rate jumped to 2.8%, generating an additional $4,200 per month for her business. I would have paid $5,000 to get these results, she told me. That conversation changed everything. I realized I wasn't charging for my time. I was charging for the value of decades of accumulated expertise. Current status, 15 hours per week,
$250 per hour, started at $50.
mostly referrals from satisfied clients, waiting list of prospects. Stream number 2, knowledge products, $12,300 per month. Nick used to say, if you find yourself explaining the same thing over and over, figure out how to package that wisdom and sell it once to many people. After 6 months of consulting, I noticed I was having nearly identical conversations with different clients about the same problems and solutions. Instead of repeating myself for $200 per hour, I created a comprehensive course called The Conversion Optimization Blueprint and priced it at $497. The results, 3 weeks to create, 40 hours total time investment. $180,000 plus in total sales. 25 to 30 sales per month with minimal ongoing effort. The beautiful part? Those 40 hours of work continue generating income while I sleep, travel, or spend time with family. Stream number 3, recommended solutions, $6,200 per month. Nick was always recommending tools, books, and services to neighbors. If you're going to suggest something anyway, might as well benefit when people take your advice, he'd say with a wink. As I built an audience through consulting and courses, people constantly asked what tools and resources I recommended. Instead of giving away free advice, I researched affiliate programs for products I was already using and loving. Now when I recommend software, books, or courses, I earn a commission if people buy through my referrals. Key principle: only recommend what you genuinely use and believe in. Your reputation is worth more than any single commission. Current income, $6,200 per month, with about 2 hours of weekly effort, mostly just naturally weaving recommendations into helpful content. Stream number 4, community membership, $4,800 per month. People don't just want to learn, Nick once told me. They want to belong to something bigger than themselves. My course students kept asking for ongoing support and connections with others implementing the same strategies. So I created a monthly membership for $97 where members get monthly live training calls with me, private community for networking and questions, updated resources and templates, direct access for specific questions, current stats. 50 members paying $97 a month, 78% retention rate, most stay for months. 6 hours per week time investment, predictable recurring revenue. Stream number 5, content revenue, $2,100 per month. Nick always believed in planting seeds that would grow into trees. Do good work in public, he'd say, and opportunities will find you. I started creating YouTube videos to build my audience and establish expertise. I never expected the ad revenue to become meaningful, but it's now generating over $2,000 monthly. Bonus benefits. Videos work 24/7 to attract new customers, builds credibility and trust, creates content I can repurpose across platforms. 0 additional time investment beyond content creation. Stream number 6, investment dividends, $3,400 per month. Own pieces of businesses that make money whether you work or not, Nick taught me. He'd spent decades systematically buying stocks in companies that paid regular dividends. Following his approach, I used profits from my other streams to build a portfolio of dividend-paying stocks, essentially getting paid to own pieces of profitable companies. Current portfolio, $680,000 invested, built over 18 months. Focus on established companies with consistent dividend histories. Average yield 6% annually. 1 hour per month management time. Stream number 7, real estate income, $2,700 per month. Nick owned several rental properties, but he started simple. Buy a duplex, live in one side, let your tenant pay most of your mortgage. I found a duplex in a good neighborhood, moved into one side and rent out the other. My tenant's rent covers most of my housing costs while I build equity. The number's $400 per month positive cash flow, plus equity building, plus tax benefits, about 2 hours monthly time investment, the timeless principles that make it all work. After studying Nick's approach and building my own modern version, I've identified the core principles that make multiple income streams successful. Principle number 1. Start with what you know. Nick never tried to become something he wasn't. He leveraged his existing skills, farming, carpentry, mechanical know-how, and found multiple ways to monetize them. I did the same with my marketing expertise. Instead of trying to learn something completely new, I found different ways to package and deliver knowledge I already had. Principle number 2. Solve real problems for real people. Every one of Nick's income streams solved a genuine problem. Broken appliances needed fixing, people needed housing, families needed food, students wanted to learn practical skills. My streams follow the same principle. Each one solves a specific, expensive problem for people who have money to pay for solutions. Principle number 3, build systems, not jobs. Nick was always looking for ways to make his income streams more efficient and less dependent on his personal time. The goal isn't to create 7 different jobs for yourself. It's to create 7 systems that generate income with minimal ongoing effort. Principle number 4, let success fund success. Nick used profits from his repair business to buy rental properties. Rental income helped fund his stock investments. Each stream supported and accelerated the others. I followed the same approach. Consulting profits funded course creation, course sales funded stock investments, investment returns funded real estate purchases. Each success makes the next stream easier to build. Principle number 5, patience pays compound interest. Young people want everything immediately, Nick used to say. Wise people plant trees they'll sit under in 20 years. Building multiple streams takes time, but the compound effect is extraordinary. My 7th stream generates more monthly income than my 4th, 5th, and 6th streams combined, not because it's better, but because I had more resources and knowledge when I built it. The selection strategy. How to choose your first stream. Avoid my costly mistakes. When I first started building streams, I made every mistake possible. I tried to build 3 different streams simultaneously, spread my focus too thin, and nearly gave up from overwhelm. Nick set me straight during one of our conversations. Son, you can't dig 7 wells at the same time and expect to hit water. Pick one, dig deep, get it flowing, then move to the next. Here's the framework I wish I'd had from the beginning. The 4-question filter. Before starting any income stream, ask yourself, question 1, what do I already know that's valuable to others? This is the most important question. The fastest path to income is leveraging expertise you already possess. Write down every job you've had and what you were genuinely good at. Problems colleagues constantly ask for your help with. Hobbies where you know more than most people. Life challenges you've overcome that others struggle with. Skills that seem ordinary to you but mystify others. Question 2. How quickly can this generate meaningful income? Different streams have completely different timelines. Fast streams, 1 to 3 months. Consulting, services, problem solving. Medium streams, 3 to 6 months. Courses, products, communities. Slow streams, 6+ months. Investments, real estate, passive systems. Start with a fast stream to prove this works and generate capital for slower building streams. Question 3. Can this scale beyond my personal time? There are 3 types of scaling. Linear, more time equals proportionally more income.
Leveraged systems multiply your time investment.
Asset-based, money works independently of your time. Start with linear for quick income, then build leveraged and asset-based streams for long-term freedom. Question 4. Do people actually pay money for this? Before creating anything, validate that demand exists. Look for existing businesses selling similar solutions. Research online communities discussing these problems. Check how many people search for solutions online. Ask potential customers directly. If others are already making money solving this problem, demand exists. The wisdom of starting late, why your experience is your advantage. One concern I hear constantly from people over 40 is, isn't it too late for me to start building multiple income streams? Nick would laugh at this question. Too late, he'd say. Son, you're just hitting your prime earning years. You have something young people don't have, decades of experience and wisdom. Here's why starting after 40 is actually an advantage. You have proven skills. Young entrepreneurs often struggle because they don't have deep expertise yet. You've spent decades developing valuable knowledge that businesses need. You understand problems worth solving. Experience teaches you which problems are expensive versus just annoying. This wisdom helps you focus on income streams people will actually pay for. You have professional networks. Your decades of work relationships become your first customers, referral sources, and business partners. Young entrepreneurs have to build these networks from scratch. You have patience for long-term thinking. Building lasting wealth requires patience and long-term perspective, qualities that typically improve with age. You value security over flash. Younger entrepreneurs often chase high-risk, high-reward opportunities. Your focus on sustainable, diversified income streams leads to more lasting success. The 90-day quick start, your first stream blueprint. Rather than overwhelming you with 7 different strategies, let me give you Nick's approach to getting started. Focus completely on one stream for 90 days. Days 1 to 30, foundation. Complete the 4-question assessment. Choose your first stream based on speed and skill leverage. Research existing demand and competition. Identify your first 10 potential customers. Create your minimum viable offer. Days 31 to 60. Launch. Reach out to your first 10 prospects. Have conversations about their problems. Present your solution to qualified prospects. Refine your offer based on feedback. Close your first paying customers. Days 61 to 90. Optimize, deliver exceptional results for early customers. Systematize and document your process. Ask satisfied customers for referrals. Raise your prices based on proven value. Plan your second income stream, the beautiful thing about starting. Here's what Nick taught me about taking action. The fear of starting is always worse than actually starting. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to quit your job or make any dramatic life changes. You just need to start with one small step toward your first stream. Your legacy starts with a decision. 6 months after that conversation on the park bench, Nick had a stroke. He recovered well, but it reminded me how precious wisdom becomes when it comes from people who've lived through decades of economic ups and downs. During one of my visits to his rehabilitation center, he grabbed my hand with surprising strength. "Promise me something," he said. "Don't just use this knowledge for yourself. Pass it on. Too many people are making the same mistakes my father made, putting all their security in someone else's hands." That promise is why I'm sharing this story with you today. Nick passed away peacefully last spring at age 89. His memorial service was packed with 3 generations of people whose lives he'd touched. Family members he'd helped educate, neighbors he'd mentored, students he'd taught. But his greatest legacy isn't the money he left behind. It's the principle he taught everyone who knew him. True security comes not from any single source, but from building multiple streams that support each other through all of life's seasons. The choice that changes everything. You have 2 paths in front of you. Path 1. Continue depending on a single income source, hoping nothing goes wrong, living with the underlying anxiety that comes from putting all your security in someone else's hands. Path 2. Follow Nick's timeless wisdom, adapted for today's opportunities. Build multiple income streams that provide real security and the peace of mind that comes from true diversification. The knowledge is here. The opportunities exist. The tools are better than they've ever been. The only question is, what will you choose? Your 30-day challenge. Instead of trying to transform your entire financial life overnight, just commit to exploring for 30 days. Week 1. Complete the skills audit and identify what you know that's valuable. Week 2. Research whether people pay for solutions to problems you can solve. Week 3. Have 10 conversations with potential customers about their challenges. Week 4. Create your first offer and present it to someone who needs what you provide. That's all. Just 30 days of exploration. No massive commitment, no burning bridges, no life-altering decisions. But I know what will happen if you actually do this. You'll discover you have more valuable knowledge than you realized. You'll find that people will pay for solutions to problems you can solve. You'll get your first taste of income that doesn't depend on someone else's quarterly budget meeting. And once you get that taste, once you experience the security that comes from controlling multiple income streams, everything changes. The time is now. Nick lived through the Great Depression, World War II, multiple recessions, and countless economic challenges. Through it all, his multiple stream approach provided security and prosperity for his family. Today's economic uncertainty makes his wisdom more relevant than ever. Job security continues declining. Traditional pensions are nearly extinct. Social security faces an uncertain future. But the internet has also created more opportunities than Nick could have imagined to build location-independent, recession-resistant income streams. The question isn't whether you can build multiple streams. You absolutely can. The question is whether you will. Your future security is counting on the decision you make today. Nick's voice still echoes in my memory. Never put all your eggs in one basket. It's time to build your own basket collection. What will you choose? In memory of Nick Thompson, 1932 to 2023, who taught me that true wealth isn't just money. It's the wisdom to build security that lasts generations.